Number 16.
Margaret has a job interview next week. At first, she was very nervous about it, so she bought a book about how to do well at interviews. One piece of advice in the book was to practice answering questions in front of a mirror at home. Margaret tried this a few times, and she began to feel more confident. Now, she is looking forward to the interview.
Question. How did Margaret prepare for her job interview? Number 17.
The apple has been eaten by humans for thousands of years. Today, there are more than 7,000 kinds of apples worldwide. Scientists in Japan first developed a kind of apple called the Fuji in the 1930s. It is known for its sweetness and can stay fresh for almost a year. In the 1980s, the Fuji apple was introduced to the United States, where it became a top seller.
Question. What is one thing the speaker says about the Fuji apple? Number 18.
Last summer, Stephen went to visit friends who live near the mountains in Nevada. His friends love rock climbing, and Stephen tried it for the first time. At first, his arms got very tired, and he just wanted to go back down. But after climbing with his friends every day for a week, he began to enjoy it. Now Stephen goes rock climbing nearly every weekend.
Question. What did Stephen do last summer? Number 19.
Good morning, students. I have an announcement to make before we start class. The cafeteria staff wants to make the menu healthier, so I'm going to hand out a survey. It's about what kinds of healthy food you would like them to introduce. Please fill the survey out and hand it back to me when you're finished. Thank you.
Question. What does the cafeteria staff plan to do? Number 20.
In some Western countries, there is a kind of party called a baby shower. A baby shower is held before or just after the birth of a child. Friends and family members of the mother gather, and they bring gifts, such as toys or blankets, for the baby. Traditionally, only women were invited, and they would give advice about taking care of babies. But nowadays, men sometimes attend too.
Question. What is one thing the speaker says about baby showers? Number 21.
Thank you for calling Sips Bank. This is a recorded message. Our telephone lines are now closed. To speak to a bank employee, please call again between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. You may also want to try our online banking system for many of your everyday banking needs. The website address is www.sipsbank.com.
Question. What is one thing the speaker suggests that customers do? Number 22.
Randy is a high school student. This year, his school is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its opening, and there will be a special festival and a concert. Students from 50 years ago are coming back to visit the school, and Randy will guide some of them around at the festival. He is looking forward to hearing about what the school was like in its first years.
Question. What is Randy looking forward to? Number 23.
Patrick takes the train to work every day. Recently, a new train line opened in Patrick City, and one of the stations is near his house, so he started using it. The new line is less crowded and the journey takes less time, but it costs more. Even though Patrick has to spend more money, he is happy because he can leave home later than he used to.
Question. Why is Patrick happy about the new train line? Number 24.
Tom is very interested in history and reads a lot of books about it. He has also joined a group of people who visit places where famous battles happened. When they visit these places, he and the other members wear uniforms and pretend to be the men who fought there. Tom thinks that doing this helps him learn even more about history than reading books does.
Question. What is one thing Tom's group does? Number 25.
Good evening, passengers, and welcome aboard 4-Star Airlines Flight 148 from Springfield to Markham. Unfortunately, because of strong winds at Markham Airport, it may have to close. If that happens, we'll land at Redford Airport instead. We'll be making another announcement as soon as we know more.
Question. What will happen if Markham Airport closes? Number 26.
When people are very afraid, they often open their eyes and mouths very wide. Canadian researchers have found that when people make this face, they can see and breathe better. Therefore, the scientists think that people develop the habit of making this scared face to help themselves stay alive in dangerous situations.
Question. Why do scientists think that people make a scared face? Number 27.
Matthew became interested in cooking when he was a boy. He dreamed of becoming a chef. So after high school, he went to a school to learn how to cook professionally. After graduating, Matthew left the United States and worked in restaurants around Europe to improve his cooking skills. 1 year later, he returned home and started his own restaurant.
Question. What did Matthew do in Europe? Number 28.
Yesterday, Rebecca was walking through a department store during her lunch break, and she noticed a large crowd of people gathered around a display. A famous cosmetics company was offering free samples of its newest perfume. Rebecca was able to get a bottle, so she was glad she went to the store.
Question. What happened during Rebecca's lunch break yesterday? Number 29.
Polly is a high school student who lives in an apartment with her mother and father. When she was younger, she wished that she had a brother or a sister to play with. But now, Polly is glad because she does not have to share her bedroom with anyone. She has a lot of friends, and she often invites them to the apartment, so she doesn't feel lonely.
Question. What is one thing we learn about Polly? Number 30.
Researchers who study elephants in Kenya have some advice for people who visit the country. They say that elephants may attack if they see people wearing the color red. This is probably because one tribe of people in Kenya, called the Maasai, wear red clothing, and they have sometimes hurt elephants. The researchers say that if tourists are going on safari, they should not wear red.
Question. What do researchers say tourists should do in Kenya?